And good evening to everybody. It is 9 o'clock, and we'd like to welcome you to the Phantasmic Journey podcast. Tonight, we have two special guests. Ed Bagowski, probably said that last name wrong. He's going to shoot me for it. And Darrell Whisman. Little history here on Ed. Ed is the creator of Paratools. And when we speak to him tonight, he will go ahead and tell us about the Ghost Catcher camera, paranormal activity logger, the spirit light, the AEVPS, which we have used on a couple of investigations, the Everything EVP, which is something new that he's working on, also the Perfect Paranormal Storm Scheduler, which is PPSS, that's a brand new application he's working on, and the AVCD. These three are brand new that he's going to be working on, and hopefully we can get him to shed some light on the applications for us so we can get a better idea on what they are and how they work. So, how is everybody doing this evening? I happened to come across something that was kind of weird and bizarre, but it's called 4 Little Known Paranormal Hotspots in New Orleans. And as you know, we are actually going to be going to New Orleans for the Haunted Bourbon. That is, what, October 27th, 28th, and 29th, I believe? All right. So I was doing some research here and came across this thing called New Orleans Known for Ghosts. Of course they are. It's also known for their gas-lit lamps, which would be kind of cool to see. And of course, you know, they have Spanish moss, wonderful southern breeze, but the only other thing is they have a deep relationship with voodoo. So that's going to be kind of interesting to check out. I know they have a lot of events going on at the exact same time of the Haunted Bourbon. So, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
To the microphone. People can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting too far away.
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm always are.
You need to, like, get on closer. So.
Up close and personal.
Yep.
So how's everybody tonight?
And the sad thing is people can't see us. That's awesome. Facebook can see us, but nobody can see us on YouTube. So I'm going to fix that real quick. So you go ahead and talk about some news or something, and I'm going to fix this real quick.
Well, of course, we've had all kinds of news and stuff going on this past week. We've got personal news going on, which I think you've all have already heard, or it's already smeared all over Facebook about us.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a date now, so if you're staying tuned and you haven't heard, there has been a proposal question been dropped. And yes, I said yes, and yes, we have a date fixed. And we are getting married next June. We will be doing a countdown soon.
A countdown?
Yeah, you have a countdown to the wedding day? Oh, that's a big thing now. Oh my God, yes.
I tried to do a countdown for the release of our TV show, and Facebook really doesn't have good countdown applications, so I kind of gave up on that. But yeah, I've been trying to do a countdown. Came up with a few other things so we can get a lot of people involved. We have this Facebook frame that I want to putting together. Currently it's waiting to be processed and authorized, but I have the proof of it, so it's kind of cool. It's not bad. It's actually using it on my profile picture on my page, so you can see it says, "This Halloween,
Gotcha.
The voices of the dead will be heard." See it right there?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, people on YouTube will see the stuff. That's why I'm saying you guys really need to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You get to see all these awesome graphics and camera angles and everything. Facebook Live is only just one view. So, I mean, if you guys want to handle just one view, hey, that's great. But I really would prefer for you guys to actually check out the YouTube so that way you can see all the camera angles and everything. Because I'm constantly switching back and forth. You know, when Paula talks, I can switch to her. When I talk, it comes to me. Or we actually do like the full-blown in your face, both of us.
Hi, Rodney. Well, we got somebody added to the
See, kind of like this.
chat.
Hey, we got Rodney in live chat and YouTube. Hey, man, how's it going? Oh, not much. Check it out. We're wearing the TNT Paranormal Investigators t-shirt and hat. like to thank Melissa Tanner for shipping these on out to us. And we're giving them a huge shout out as TNT Paranormal Investigators. Really cool group. I've been waiting to meet Melissa. I've talked to her numerous times, but I haven't met her face to face, and I know she is a really cool person. So, but like I stated before, any teams out there that want to have their names pushed out or promoted, go ahead and send us shirts, hats. We will go ahead and wear them live on the podcast show. Radio shows can do the exact same thing. We will go ahead and wear, your shirts during setting up while we're on location. We'll actually wear them while we're walking around doing our Facebook Lives at the location. It's possible they'll be on during the interviews. I'm not really sure. But, we're doing what we can to go ahead and get y'all's name out there so people can know who you are and the name of your team. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
We are getting you 2 shirts made up. Be sending them soon.
Oh, awesome, Rodney. That'll be great. We'll be proud to wear them for you. What do you got showing up over there? City Council, what?
Oh, how many of you out there has ever done anything ridiculous or out of the box in order to get attention? The question is tonight is the attention getter. What have you done outside the box? It could not be anything paranormal. It could be something, take it back from high school years, college years. Have any of you ever tried to run for city council or anything like that? There is a gentleman. That's the reason why I brought it up, because I read a strange story today, and it just kind of made me dawn on. I have seen in my high school years, we have done strange things to raise money. We have done strange things to make votes happen for just our little student council, all the way up to people have done strange things to get the vote to make you go and vote for anything. And including us having the guys dress up as women and have a drag queen contest going on. And I think my kids did that at their high school too. They had some kind of a Mustang contest to where who going to be Miss Mustang, and it was actually a drag queen contest. So it's interesting. This gentleman here is running for a city council candidate, and he had made his I don't know if you heard this, is around Boston area. He is dressing up as a clown, and he's going on the streets trying to get votes to get him to become a council member. And that's kind of interesting. He go ahead and dons the rainbow wig and the red nose and the full-fledged clown makeup.
Sounds like something Stephen Barry would do.
And he does his campaign photos in it, and he videos. I guess he's on social media everywhere. He's got his social media on Facebook. He's done some YouTube posts. I mean, his name is... his last name is Paseo, and Paseo in Spanish is actually another name for clown. So he has taken that time of length and to made himself into a clown, and it kind of gives you a kind of a creepy little situation, because number one, we have the movie It out, and it involves a clown, so it kind of makes you think, you can see a clown walking down the street and want to start shaking hands, and it's not what they call a happy clown. He's kind of a serious clown. Do you really want to shake a hand with a clown after you went and saw the movie It?
Nope, I don't like clowns. He might take my boat.
He might take your boat.
Have you not seen It?
No, I will not watch a Stephen King movie. I'm sorry. Christine did it for me. Do you know that story's based on a true story? I mean, the car is somewhere out in Indiana being chained to a tree, and they pulled the engine and the motor out of it. Every previous owner that had it had something tragically happen to them. Kind of reminds me of a couple of locations that we know that.
Yeah. Well, It is about Georgie that had a little paper boat. It was raining. He decided to let it set sail, and it was going on down the road into the side of the gutter area, and then finally disappeared right into the sewer. The next thing you know, the clown pops up and says, "Hi, Georgie. Nice boat."
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they can keep that movie.
Pretty much, yeah. They got a lot of memes now with the clown saying, "I got candy down here."
Oh, I'm good.
I'll bet you are. Yeah.
I just never could do Stephen King movies. I can't do Chucky. I can't do.
You can't do Chucky. Oh my God, Chucky's nothing.
Oh, Chucky's one of those I don't want to own a doll in the house anymore. And I love porcelain dolls. I love Victorian stuff. That right there makes you not want to own anything in the house.
Oh, that's just sad.
Like I say, I can't. I mean, like I said, Christine did it for me. Can't do Pet Cemetery. Tried to watch that. Couldn't handle that.
Pet Cemetery is not bad. It's okay. I have seen every single Stephen King movie known to man, except for what's that one?
The Shining.
No, I've seen that.
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia is by Stephen
I
King?
think it is.
I don't think so.
It's not.
No, I don't think so.
I know. I Stranger.
Hey, you guys, is Arachnophobia by Stephen King? I don't think it is. We got the chat blowing up over here. Let's see what we got going on here.
They've got Stranger Things.
Hey, Stranger Things is awesome. I can't wait for season 2. That's not Stephen King.
It's not. Well, I thought there was a movie called Stranger Things.
No, it was a series. It was on, what station was that on? But it was really cool. Stranger Things is awesome.
Now I did see. I think The Fog was a Stephen King movie. I think I saw that one.
It's not called The Fog. I think it's called The Mist.
Is it called The Mist?
I think so. The TV series The Mist was awesome. I can't believe that. And the way it ended was just kind of, oh, dang, that was kind of bad. But
and I remember watching. I did watch a Stephen King movie, and it was about a boy in a wheelchair, but I don't remember what the name of it was.
Boy in a wheelchair. Only one I know of about a wheelchair is Misery.
No.
That was bad.
That one is creepy, and that can happen.
She had to break dude's ankles
I mean,
so he can't walk. Exorcist did it for me.
Yeah.
Never will I watch that ever again. The Exorcist wasn't that bad. Let's see what else we got on here. We've got a lot of people. Got Nolan on here. We have Tina Mathis, John Kinney, Jason Black is on here. How's Dead Ted doing, man? Got Queeky. Queeky has been like a top follower ever since I started trying to put stuff on YouTube a long time ago.
Oh.
Oh yeah, he would do his own little videos and stuff of ITC.
Gotcha.
Really cool. Silver Bullet.
That's it. Yeah, that was the name of the movie.
The one with the little boy in the wheelchair?
It's called The Silver Bullet.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, and I think I did watch Donnie Darko.
That's Stephen King too?
Yeah, the only reason why I watched that is because of one person that was in it, and I swear to and I still got 3 movies I have not seen with him in it yet.
Okay, who?
Patrick Swayze.
Oh dear God.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, her and Patrick Swayze.
Well, at least thank God he's dead, because that was the only person I'd cheat on you with.
Oh, wow. Say that right before we get married. That's awesome. Yeah. So tell me, who are you going to be talking to tonight, and about what?
Well, I'll be talking to Mr. B.
No, I'll be talking to Mr.
You're
B.
going to talk to Mr. B. I'll be talking to Darrell.
You're going to be talking to Darrell about the
Poasttown Elementary.
Yes, that's located in Middleton, Ohio.
Yes, it is.
And the main thing that kind of makes that place severely haunted is because there was a massive train crash.
Yeah.
2 trains collided.
In July of 1910.
Yeah, watch your phone about to fall.
I'm trying to.
So, but that's going to be real interesting. Can't wait to talk to Darrell and get some inside history on the Poasttown Elementary. We are actually going to try to get there next year so we can actually investigate and film that location. See if we can connect with, I believe there is a girl named Sarah. Now this is well after the train wreck, and they built, what the heck was that? Got a moth in the house. That's awesome. After the train wreck or the tragedy, see, there was no school there. It was just basically a field. So what happens is, this is from what I found out, and I don't know if it's true or not. We'll find out from Darrell tonight. But all the bodies that were, carried over to the field to get help, They were injured. A lot of them died right there in the field, but that particular field is where they built the elementary school.
Yep, in 1934.
There you go. So I guess I'm right. Yay, I'm smart. So anyway, yeah, there's a girl there named Sarah who was playing by the staircase up on the 3rd floor, and for some weird, unforsaken reason, decided to look over the side and splat. She didn't die as she hit the ground. They picked her up and carried her out. She died at her house, but she sustained a massive head injury. I mean, what do you think? You're a kid in an elementary school falling 3 stories to cement. I'm surprised you didn't die on impact.
True.
Must have a hard head.
Ha ha ha.
Just saying. But I'm sure there's a lot more other spirits that haunt that location due to the fact that they had that massive train tragedy. But we will find out when Darrell comes on the line. But as I stated, we do have a guy that is the creator and designer of Paratools, which are applications you can run on your tablet and, of course, on your cell phone. And those particular applications is the Ghost Catcher camera, paranormal activity logger, which is kind of cool. It's a good way to log all of your activity, your temperature changes, different things that are going on, the location where you're at, the specific room, so you can actually log all that information. The spirit light, the AEVPS, which is really cool. I love that one. Basically, it will ask questions for you. You leave your phone or your tablet right next to your digital recorder in a specific room or any room that you're investigating, and you just go ahead and tell it, okay, I want you to ask all these questions. It'll give you a whole list of questions, which is really cool. And if you're in a location where it's primarily haunted by a child, either a little boy, little girl, you can have the little boy and little girl voice actually ask questions, so that way they can kind of relate and communicate with that voice, and hopefully you'll be getting some EVPs on it. I know when we were at the Monroe house, we used a little boy voice, and one of the questions was, were you murdered? And at the very end we heard a yes. So that was pretty interesting. And I know Paula is going to go ahead and bring up the question about last week. So we can go ahead and do that after we get done talking to Ed. But do you remember the whole question from last week?
It's what is fact or faked of the paranormal? You
guys remember that? So think about that question, and we will come to that probably a little later on this evening. But nobody really did answer the other question that we had the first time.
Oh, what are the pros and cons of the paranormal?
Yeah, no one really answered that.
Well, if you guys want to tune in on that one, that was our very first question from our very first show, was what are the pros and cons of the paranormal? What makes it difficult for us to be an investigator, and what makes it easy for us to be an investigator? So what is the pros and cons? Yeah, so here's the thing. If you guys want to be a part of the Paranormal Fishbowl, which basically is you get to pick a question. Basically, you choose it from a number of 1 through 10, and you get to answer the question corresponding to that number that you chose. You can actually do like a paranormal roundtable with us, and of course amongst yourself and the viewers in YouTube, and also the ones on Facebook Live. So it's kind of like we all get together and we just discuss that question that you got. So if you guys want to do that, go ahead and message either myself or Paula, and we will go ahead and get you involved in that. And we'll have a new question at the end of the segment tonight that you guys can be a part of too, but you can go ahead and answer any of those 2 questions, and we'll make sure your answers get on here and everything else. And so what's oh,
alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and work on getting Ed on the phone here, so that way we can learn about all these awesome apps that he has. So I'm dying to know about these 3. Well, let's see what we got here.
Hello.
Good evening. This is Ed?
hello.
It is.
Hey,
This Gavin?
Ed. Yes, it is. How you doing?
Excellent. How about yourself?
We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. I kind of briefed everybody on your applications that you have for Paratools, and I'm going to let you have the floor so that way you can go ahead and tell our viewers and listeners all about the applications that you currently have and possibly shed some light on those 3 new ones that are coming soon.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Be glad to do it. Well, the flagship application that I started Paratools with is the Ghost Catcher camera, which basically is an EMF detector that triggers the camera within your phone to take pictures in a maximum of 10 pictures per 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And the whole concept behind that is we know they move fast. So
of course,
if you can get the pictures, on an investigation, the best thing to do is to take more than 1 picture at a time to make sure that, what you capture in one picture, you're going to capture in the next picture, or you see some type of movement or something of that nature. And that's why the 10 pictures, I think, is important. Right. And I'm sorry, you were going to say something there, but I interrupted you.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. And then also on that, I have a EVP recorder that has a built-in visual on there, so you can see if there's any other sounds that are happening during the time. So you can basically be running the EVP recorder with the Ghost Catcher camera and have them coincide with each other. It also gives you a report of the highest EMF readings and so forth. But that was the first application. That application took off. Everybody seems to really like that because it was something that was new in the field. And I did get quite a few pictures from people who have used it that were quite interesting. Next up, I had put together what's called the Spirit Light. And the reason being I put the Spirit Light out there is because I liked using the flashlight experiment. Have you used that before?
I haven't used the Spirit Light yet, and I kind of stay away from the flashlight trick because
exactly.
I mean, we have a lot of people to sit there and swear up and down it does work, and I'm like, okay, do it with a mag light that does not unscrew off. It's totally solid. The only way you can turn it on is push button on the bottom. If they can turn that on, then I'm a believer.
That's exactly why I built this application, is because it was something that you didn't have that theory where the batteries would heat up and make the contacts causing the electrical current to turn the flashlight on when it's unscrewed.
Yep.
And I know there's so many different theories that surround that, what it could be. I've had excellent times with flashlight communication, and other times it's been, hit or miss.
Right.
But the reason why I developed that is it's triggered by EMF or by touch. And it actually records in the background on a report how long it was touched or what the sensitivity of the EMF was. It measures the EMF and gives you the time frame, how long it lasted and such. And I've had a lot of luck with that, and where I would ask yes and no questions with, 1 blink for yes, 2 blinks for no.
Right. And
found out quite a few things. One just quick story I'll give you is I was doing a shop in St. Augustine, and in the shop there was this back room where no one was really investigating it, but I felt drawn to it. So I started talking, and I found out there was a man in there who died in war. He was, I think, 27, and it was something that I had him verify multiple times, which he had done through the Spirit Light.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, about, I'd say 20 minutes after I got done with the conversation, the owner of the establishment came in and was discussing with me and said, yeah, did you know there's a man we found in here who's 27 and supposedly he died in the war.
Oh, wow.
So it gave me goosebumps.
Sounds
to say
cool.
the least.
Yeah.
And then so I feel like I'm doing all the talking. I apologize here, but I babble when
that's quite all right.
I get on the air.
Yeah, that's all
the next application, well, let me go back to the spirit light. As I had said, it's triggered off of EMF. You can dial down the sensitivity as low as you want or as high as you want, and that's what makes it kind of special, because if you're doing an investigation at an area where there's a high EMF probability, or you have exposed wiring without shielding, something of that nature where you can't zero out the instruments. And if you're using a K2 meter or you're using a Mel meter, you'll know what I mean by that.
Oh, yeah.
You're able to actually zero this out.
Well, I definitely wouldn't be able to use that at Bobby Mackey's, because they have a huge transformer down in the basement where you go anywhere near it, it'll fry your electronics.
Yes, exactly. We actually had done a home prior in the group that I was with, and the whole home was, everything was electric in the home. I mean, down to the shades.
Oh, wow.
On the windows. Yeah. So there was so much EMF going throughout that home, and the only thing that I could dial out was through the spirit light. And we were able to use that for communication. So it works out well in those type of situations.
Okay, we'll have to try that out.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think I sent you all the applications too. So,
yeah,
I'd love for you to check them out and get some feedback from you as well.
Sure, not a problem.
And then I had a frustration, and I know a lot of people have this frustration, is when you go on investigations, bringing a pen and paper and trying to write in the dark, trying to see what time it is that activity occurs so you can notate it and make sure that you get the right timings down and such. The application I developed was a paranormal activity logger, and the activity logger, it takes away that whole aspect of the pen and paper and allows you to you can note an investigation just through touch.
Right.
So it has, have you seen this, the numerous buttons it has on there?
I looked at it briefly, like last month or so. I looked at it briefly.
And it basically will give you all the aspects of the investigation, starting from, setup through the DVR recording. If you do outside investigation, inside investigation, it covers the gamma. And it also has, I think there's like 20 different buttons. I could be off on the number, but it will have one for personal failings if you have feelings of dread, or if you have feelings of nausea or any type of illness, elation, sadness. It covers all of that, and it's just a matter of pressing a button, and it timestamps the exact time that you press that button.
Right. And
it tells you what that activity was, and then you can also write in additional notes to where it occurred or something of that nature. And the great thing about it is at the end, you have a full report already drafted out for you, and all you need to do is to print it out, and you can hand it to the client right at the investigation if that was something you chose to do.
Right. When you actually go ahead and fill out the rest of the report, does a little keyboard pop up so you're able to do that?
You can actually go, and what I suggest to people is they save the file, and then they open the file in their computer, and then just edit the report as they see necessary.
Yeah, okay.
It just saves as a basic Word document file.
Yeah, because you know how it is when you sit there and try to text on a phone, and it's actually writing stuff to you're like, what? I didn't say that.
Exactly, exactly. It gets a little bit tough, and when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and your brain's not all with it at that time, it definitely hampers the investigation by trying to do that. So I tried to take that aspect away from it.
Yeah. We can relate to that. 3 o'clock in the morning, your brain is mush.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And, I was excited about it. I know there were a lot of investigators excited about it, and it's a very simple application that I put out there, but I've gotten quite a bit of thanks and praise for it because, I guess other people had the same frustration I had with trying to notate everything or remember everything in an investigation and time frames and everything.
Right.
So I was excited to put that one out, and then I know you had mentioned too the newest application, which I'm really excited about, and I know you've used it in the past. I've seen it on some videos, and I'm really excited about it. Is the AEVPS, which is the auto EVP session.
I go ahead and tell a lot of investigators about this application because I mean it is phenomenal. We used it at the Monroe house, and we had the little boy asking questions, and one of the questions said, "Were you murdered?" And you can hear off in the distance, yes. So that was really cool.
One thing I love about it, and someone brought this up, I didn't even think of this when I was having the application developed, but it takes away the whole human aspect of it, which is a good thing, because they say some people believe that we can manipulate the digital recordings through our brain waves, that there's a possibility of that. It takes away that possibility because you just said it, you put the questions you want, leave it in a room, and walk out, and there's nothing there that can manipulate that.
Right.
It's just straight audio.
That's the one thing that I like.
So,
we can actually just set it up on the tablet, put our digital recorder right there, and just let it run through with all the questions while we actually leave the building or leave that room and just let it run. It's awesome.
And just to let you know, I know a lot of people like using the digital recorder as a backup, but that actually records as well. So the questions and answers are all recorded on the phone. You can do the full session just with your phone.
Yeah, but I know about that, but the best part is that we double up, so that way if anything happened, we still have our recording of it also. So, but here's the thing that's kind of bizarre. I can't figure this one out, and maybe you can shed some light on it. When we were at the Monroe house, we got the yes on the Tascam DR100 Mark III. We did not get the yes on the AEVPS digital recorder.
That's interesting. I've had that happen in locations where, not using the AEVPS, but I've received a EVP on one of my recorders, and I had another investigator that was 5 feet away from me and didn't catch the same EVP.
Yeah, just kind of weird. I figured out one thing what it is we kind of discussed this last week, where if you have two digital recorders, and you know, it's kind of like if you're watching the YouTube video, you got Paula on the left of me, and of course I'm on the right. Well, here's the thing. I have a recorder, she has a recorder. Whatever the entity is in the center of us. Now, if it's facing towards her recorder's going to pick it up. Mine will not, because it really depends on where it's facing or projecting to. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. That's what happens. So the yes that possibly came out of my DR100, because it was a condenser mic facing straight out, where the AVVPS was kind of on the side, you know, next to it. I didn't want to get any digital noises and stuff from my phone, just like if someone decided to like text me, all of a sudden hear zzz, zzz, I didn't want to have that go through. So I kind of had it away from the digital recorder. So that's probably the reason why the Tascam got it and the tablet did not, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, very possible. I've gotten disembodied voices the same way, where we would hear disembodied voices and catch them on audio on one side of the room, and we'd hear them on the other side of the room, but it wouldn't be on the recorder itself, which I found really strange. But I think it's definitely a projection issue, as you had stated, and it makes the most sense, because if it's in a certain direction, it's only going to be able to be picked up in that direction, unless you have like a PZM microphone that you know, is able to capture the full room all at once.
Yeah, it basically kind of acts like a mini shotgun, only directional.
Correct.
So go ahead and enlighten us on the 3 new apps that you have coming out, which sound really cool.
3 new apps. Well, I've been wanting to work on these for a while. It's obviously funding is the biggest hindrance, but I'm trying to get these out as soon as possible. The Everything EVP that you had mentioned, that's going to be basically an add-on that you could purchase, and I'm trying to keep it down for a very low cost. And it's going to have the ability to do your editing as far as your EVP, but it's also going to have some special things in there too, where you can reverse the audio, and you can speed up and slow down the audio. You can use certain frequencies. You can try running an EVP session with a frequency modulator. And my belief is when we're using spirit boxes and such, we're scanning those frequencies, and we tap into a frequency. Every time we scan, when we pick up those voices, we're hitting them on certain frequencies, but we don't know exactly what those frequencies are. Hopefully, someday we'll be able to figure that out, and I think with a frequency modulator, that gives us a opportunity to, it's kind of needle in a haystack, but there's an opportunity to find that frequency.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. And are you familiar with binaural beats?
No. Are you, Paula?
What?
Binaural beeps?
Mm-mm.
I'm thinking that's usually the beeps that you hear during a auditory test, maybe?
Oh, actually, the binaural beats, like a beatbox, if you want to say. But what it is it's a frequency wave combined with other frequency waves that's able to manipulate the brain's chemistry, and it allows you to have certain feelings. It can emulate certain, and I hate to say it this way, but certain drugs or emotions. And I am thinking if we can mix that in there, I want to see if it has any effect on the EVPs, where if it can manipulate with our brain waves, can it do anything with the spirit and, the way that they communicate?
Is that something?
So it's all trial and error.
Is that something kind of along the lines of like the God helmet?
I'm not familiar with the God helmet.
Oh, it's similar to the same thing where you're talking about manipulating frequencies within the brain. And what happens is it actually triggers certain lobes in the brain where you can start seeing things spiritual, and like you're hallucinating, what they call it the God helmet, because you're actually seeing things like angels and stuff like that.
They say that you can have hallucinations with this. I've never experienced anything like this. I mean, I've tried them out, and I've had certain effects of the calmingness, because that's one that I wanted. If you're stressed out and you listen to it, it's literally just noise, but that noise, when it's focused in, and the vibrations of that noise definitely have an effect, and it ends up being a calming effect. And there's other ones that give you energy, and there's other ones that heighten certain other senses. So it could be very close to the same thing.
Yeah, because like if you go to YouTube and you do a search for like tones and frequencies, you're actually going to get stuff that can actually be for healing. One that scares me is opening the third eye, because the frequency actually makes your pineal gland start vibrating. Next thing you know, you're supposedly opening up the third eye. And then you've got other ones where it relaxes all of your muscles and just totally makes you feel, comfortable, relaxed, meditate. What's all the other ones? I know you did one. Which one did you do?
What?
You did something with a blue screen and...
Well, it's basically on color. I did a vision thing.
You did a vision one.
Yeah,
but there were still sounds, though.
There were sounds. It's just like certain sounds matches with certain colors. It's like doing your own chakra. And it's kind of like balancing your chakra, where you take different sounds and beings. I don't know if some people are into doing that, but I do that personally, and it kind of calms me down and keeps me a little bit more stress relieved, which I have a funny feeling I'm going to be doing a whole lot more here lately.
See, and that makes me wonder, and then, if that would work in the same manner, if you were doing an investigation where, say, there was some type of angry or a violent activity that was going on there, if that sound was played through, and would it soothe the savage beast, if you would, we just don't know if they're able to, think the same way that we do. Sometimes we think that they do because they interact with us the same way that they would interact with us if they were still here on Earth with us.
Right. Well,
so that's why I like doing these different things. It's very experimentative.
Right. There is one that I've heard from a buddy of mine, Christopher Maggard. It's called the shepherd's tone. and this one actually makes a tone that goes up and down at the same time. And they've been doing it in different locations, and it actually does help ramp some of the activity. It's just really bizarre of the tone. And I mean, you don't want to listen to it for a long period of time, otherwise you're just going to like go nuts. Right. But it's really cool that, you know, it just keeps going on up, which sounds like it's going on up and just keeps on going, but it's actually going down at the same time.
And that's with the frequency modulator. That's why in embedding that in there, I think you'll be able to use that. If you were to pair that, say, with the AEVPS, while they're asking the questions, and you have that running in the background as well, I think you might get some interesting results.
Yeah, we ought to try that when it comes on out. It sounds really cool. I mean, we've been trying to experiment some stuff with different tones and different frequencies just by, you know, downloading some of the ones off YouTube just to test them to see what we get.
Nolan's got a question for you.
Who?
Nolan's got
Nolan?
a question.
What's he got?
He says, can EVP modulators give you an alert with an EVP activated by the spirits?
Huh.
The only way that you can really get any type of alert is, and this is what I embedded in the Ghost Catcher camera, is there's a visual that, and I'm drawing a blank of what it's actually called, but what it does is it measures the decibels. And if there's any interruption in the decibel layer when everything's silent, you'll see that blip. So that's the best I can say for an alert. I don't really know if there's a way to make it so when there's a break in the silence that the recorder would alert you. I don't know if we have that technology at hand yet.
I don't know. You'd be surprised.
But it's an excellent idea.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised what technology can let you do. So.
Oh, yeah. And people are amazed at what their phones can actually do. You know, a lot of people, I've had naysayers come to me and say, well, your phone can't detect the electromagnetic field, and your phone can't do certain things. And I've always been able to go right back to the sensors in the phone and show them exactly how it's done.
Right.
The phones today are amazing pieces of equipment and can be used in so many different ways, not just for sit here chit-chatting.
Right, and that brings me to the AVCD.
Okay, that is a concept that I've had for a while now, and I've seen something similar out in the marketplace. I wish I had got it out there faster, but I have some other special surprises in the one that I'm working on. But what it is I'm really into ITC. I'm into visual ITC, and I'm into audio ITC. So this is based on a video ITC, basically similar to what you would have when you used to have the old VHF channels,
right?
And they would go to snow at night. What that is that snow is the frequency itself, and you're able to see. Sometimes I've seen pictures and other things where you're able to actually see figures that have been recorded within that frequency that they emit, which I always found real interesting as well. Now, if you take that and you take a live broadcast, and you're able to, instead of broadcasting that live video, but broadcast it in a disruption mode, such as like a static mode, and it's giving off that, you know, it's coming from that frequency, will it also have the ability to give you to see something that you normally wouldn't see? So with my tools, I like to test them out first, but all of my tools, and I'll be perfectly upfront with you, are just experiments, just like any other tool in the field.
Right.
Luckily, the AEVPS has been a godsend to me for EVPs, because that has been like a magnet, and it truly has been like a magnet.
Oh yeah, we haven't had any problem with it. I mean, we've been using it at different locations, and we're just totally shocked about the you know, what we actually get recorded. Just blows our mind.
I love it personally. I mean, and it's good having the tools on your phone too, because you don't have to carry around all these other different pieces of equipment. I'm a technology geek, and I have all different pieces of technology, but I always end up going back to the phone. Not just my applications. There's a couple other great applications out there too that I like to use. However, I think some of those applications are worth their weight in gold, because of the fact you're not spending $300 for a piece of equipment and having to carry that around with your digital recorders, with your your EMF meters, and I carry the paranormal pyramid. I have numerous pieces of equipment, ion detectors, just so much stuff. It just makes sense that you want to try to trim it down, and it makes investigating affordable for everybody. That was one of the main reasons why I started Paratools, because a lot of investigators, and at least the ones that I know, aren't rich.
Right.
They don't have a lot of money, and I want to give them the same level playing field as someone who does have the money to afford the better equipment.
That's true. But I do have a question for you. What about those ones that think that, and I get this because we do use the apps occasionally on our investigations and stuff, but we do have the ones that are skeptic on with the apps, as they're not as true as the hardcore expensive investigating tools. Do you ever get that
The only thing that
skepticism?
you're looking at with the tools is they have components in them. They have, your electronic components in them, but they can be manipulated just as well as an application can. Things can be written into an application. Well, there could be something on, and I used to think this with the Ovilus, but I don't think so anymore. I could see somebody building a piece of equipment and where the audio is actually captured through a microphone that you don't know is there, and then repeats back words that it's already heard. Something like that I can see being able to manipulate with a piece of equipment you might pay $200-300 for.
Yeah.
So you can do it with any piece of equipment.
That is true. I mean, of course, the Ovilus has their built-in dictionary, so it's basically a random phonetic generator.
Exactly.
So.
And I love Bill Chappelle. He has some great ideas. He's come up with some great tools. So it's very hard for me to say, does the Ovilus work? For me, it has at times, and other times it hasn't. And it's just like any other piece of equipment, I believe, where it's a hit or miss.
Right.
I think all of this equipment does work, but it works in the right conditions at the right time.
All right. Well, now it's time for you to actually go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, website, where they can actually purchase their own applications so they can try them out.
Sure thing. For the applications, you would just go to the Google Play Store. And in the Google Play Store, in the search bar, you can just put in Paratools, and that will bring up all my applications. And you can read the reviews on there. I'm proud to say I've had some of those on there for 5+ years and still hold 4+ star reviews across the board. So I'm really excited about that, and that makes me feel that the applications speak for themselves. I don't have to go out there and really push with the applications, because I'm hoping word of mouth will do that for me.
Right.
And I'm not looking to get rich on this. Like I said, I'm here to help the field. As for a website, paratools.net, I welcome anybody to come on there. It's a work in progress because I'm actually building a community on there. I'm also building areas where you can post evidence that you've received on using the equipment, and an area where people can discuss and so forth. So I'm trying to make it more interactive than just a typical website that you would go to.
All right, man. We sure do appreciate having you on the show and being very informative with your application. I'm sure a lot of people are actually going to go on over to the Google Play Store, download some of your apps so they can try them out for themselves and see if they happen to, get any activity like we have.
Excellent. And they can always contact me on email, too, at ed@paratools.net. I'm always open for any questions that anybody has, or if they have any difficulties with the applications. I try to be as responsive as possible.
All right. Well, we thank you for being on the show, and we will talk to you later.
Thank you for being on.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem. Bye-bye.
You all have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, there you guys go. The creator of Ghost Catcher Camera, Paranormal Activity Logger, the Spirit Light, and, of course, the AVEPS, which we have used numerous times. So remember to go to the Google Play Store, and that way you guys can pick up your own applications. I am going to go ahead and bring on our next guest, which is Darrell Whisman, which is the owner of the Poasttown Elementary.
Okay, while we're getting ready for him to be on here, how many of you ever went and investigated Poasttown? I would love to hear some of your investigating stories. And is it on your wish list? Is there any,
It's definitely on our wish list.
Yeah.
Wish list.
If you have any questions for Darrell, go ahead and send them to us, and we'll make sure that Darrell gets them. Oh, it's still ringing. I thought maybe it got answered.
Hello?
Good evening, Darrell. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
We're doing fine. We went ahead and briefed our listeners with information about the Poasttown Elementary, but we're going to go ahead and give you the floor, and you can tell our listeners and viewers about the history of it and basically why is the Poasttown Elementary haunted. And I'm sure Paul has got some questions for you as well.
Okay.
So,
Are you ready?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
ready.
we're ready. Everybody's ready.
I don't know why it's haunted. That's what I ask everybody that comes here. But they say, there's history of 2 train accidents that are about a mile down the tracks that were happening. Both of them happened on July 4th, one in 1895, one 1910. Both of them took a lot of lives. And some people say that they brought some of the bodies up here and used this land as kind of a makeshift triage area. I'm not a great big believer in the train wrecks, but a lot of people get EVPs talking about the train wrecks and stuff, so there must be something to do with it here. And then we have, I call it an urban legend. I've had 3 people come and tell me the story saying they were here when it happened.
Oh,
But
wow.
they say a little girl and 2 boys were playing on a stairwell, and the little girl fell over the edge and didn't die here, but died later at home. And we call her Sarah. And it seems like I get travelers through here, like they change. It's like for a couple of months we'll have this certain thing we get all the time over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like that's gone and something else is here. And I've had people tell me there's a portal here and things can travel as they want and come back as they want and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an investigator. I've watched a lot of people do it, seen how they use a lot of their equipment.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. When they first told me this place was haunted, I didn't know anything about the paranormal. I knew about clowns and chainsaws and things like that. But I first started sitting with people, letting them try it here, and to me it was real peaceful. It was calming that every time they would ask a question, they would get a response or some kind of an answer.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I thought people were just trying to trick me, make me think something's here.
Right.
So I started trying to debunk everything somebody would get. I would try to recreate it or make it happen. And some things you just can't recreate. I guess that's why they call it paranormal.
Yeah. Now you actually witness things on a daily basis, don't you? Because do you
Oh,
actually
yeah.
live? You live there, right?
Yeah. Yes. Lived here 13 years.
Oh wow. So what's it like living at a haunted location? I'm just curious.
Well, being honest with you, I'm getting ready to do some sort of a documentary or something about that because I've been talking to some people that are here pretty regularly,
Uh huh.
and I don't experience the same things that investigators get when they come here.
Huh.
It's like where we live at, there's something down here, and the things that we see and get doesn't match what everybody that investigates out in the building gets. Like, we'll hear footsteps upstairs, children and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hear desks being drug across the floors and nothing in that room above us, you know. And I can't explain those things. I don't know what they are. We put cameras up in the hallways, and we think somebody's up there trying to play games and stuff, but we never see anybody.
Right.
I'll go upstairs trying to catch them. There's never nobody there. But the things that we see and have happen in our living quarters where we live, nobody has ever described the things that happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing here that makes us want to run out of here in fear.
Right.
I always tell everybody, if you're wanting to bleed or get your hair pulled out, you're at the wrong place.
Right. Right.
If you're wanting to communicate and experience things, you're at the perfect place, because it seems like everything here is very willing to communicate with people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one in particular that you just know when you go into a room, he's hanging with you?
I think I have 2 or 3 that follow me everywhere I go in here. And don't mean to sound mental or anything, but even when I leave here, I feel like there's something with me that is pulling me back. It doesn't. In 13 years, I think I've stayed 5 nights away from here, and 3 of them I was in the hospital. 2 of them I was at conventions.
Oh, wow.
But it's like I don't want to leave. I don't want to go away. I don't want to be away for very long. We'll go out to eat, and then my wife and daughters or something, I want to go shopping. I'm like, just take me home. You know, you guys go shopping. I don't like to shop. And it's like I don't want to leave here. I want to be here all the time.
You have a major attachment to the location.
Yeah, but we got to where my family was pointing it out to me. He said, Dad, you never leave there. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you would never go anywhere if we didn't get you to go eat and stuff. And then they got me thinking, what heck, is the building kind of consuming me or something? Or
Yeah.
so I started questioning, you know, what's really going on here. And we have people come here that they just keep coming back. I mean, they can't get enough. It's, every time they're here, the evidence is so, I mean, it's just on command right there, constantly, over and over and over. And there's intelligence, there's residual, there's so much personal evidence that you'll get touched. You'll see shadows. It's like it never stops. But one thing I have noticed, this is a school building,
Mm-hmm.
and if you come in here acting like you're in school or playing with kids, you get tremendous results.
Huh.
If you come in here and acting like you're at a prison and screaming and cussing and yelling like you would at a prison,
Right.
it's like everything here hides. You know, it's like you scare the crap out of them. They don't want to know. They don't know what's going on.
But there's no documented deaths of any children at the school, right?
As far as I know, no children have ever died here.
But
There's been a lot of tragedies that's happened here,
Mm-hmm.
and they died somewhere else or later at home or things like that. But as far as I can find, I can't find any tragedies where somebody died here at the school.
Oh, interesting.
Now, for people that
Yeah.
don't know about Post Town, can you give us like the size of the building and how many classrooms, and possibly, you know, at one time, would you think
Yeah.
it's been the number of children that would have probably been in that building on an example?
And I believe there was between 700 and 900 a year went to school here.
Wow.
It's 36,500 square feet. in the end, before they shut it down, they had 4 trailers out back for kindergarten and first grade. So the capacity overdid the building, and the building couldn't hold them all, so they ended up putting the trailers in out back. And then they built a new campus and did away with this school.
So is a typical kindergarten to 5th grade or 6th grade school then?
Kindergarten to 4th mostly.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
When they first built it, it went to 8th, and then it dropped back just to go 1st to 6th. And then I think in '57 they started offering kindergarten, and in '62 kindergarten was mandatory, and then it was kindergarten to 4th, I believe it was.
Gotcha.
And it remained that way. I went to school here. I started here in 1963. All my brothers and sisters, my wife, her family went to school here.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids went to school here. I couldn't wait to get out of here, and now I live here.
Right?
What gave you the idea to own the elementary school?
When I first purchased the building back in 2004, I got the building to actually try to turn it into a haunted amusement. And we worked for 2 years on it, trying to get it all set up the way we wanted it. And it was awesome. But the county come in, the codes had changed in the time that from when we got it till we got ready to open it. And then they required sprinkler systems in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a solid concrete building, got 18-inch thick walls. And it was going to cost over $100,000 to put sprinklers in.
Oh, wow.
And I fought with the county for a while, and then they put an injunction against me with Code 411, which is fire sprinklers.
Mm-hmm.
And I went broke trying to fight with the county, and said, well, we're just going to live here. We got a big house. We got an indoor gymnasium with full court basketball, a stage, kitchen.
Wow.
Well, you can
The
have
biggest
good.
house in the township.
And you'll have a good place to put the Thanksgiving feast. You don't have to worry about fighting over
Yeah.
who's going to eat where.
Right.
Good. Our house is big enough we can handle our whole family.
There you go.
Wow.
And anybody gets mad at when somebody can find their own classroom.
Right?
Yeah. I think there's 54 in my family. I think there's 60-something in my wife's
Oh,
family.
jeez.
And we got the only house that can hold everybody.
So you turned some of those classrooms into actual bedrooms?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our house, our kitchen is 26 by 35. Our living room's 26 by 35. Our bedroom's 26 by 35.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, our kitchen table seats 12 people.
Oh, geez.
It's
We
a
need
big,
to go-
long, like a conference table.
We need to go buy a schoolhouse. That's what our problem is.
Yeah.
We'll go buy the Catterjohn building.
It's awesome. Whenever you guys finally get to come here, I'll take you on a tour of our living quarters and everything.
Oh, that'll
I
be
call
cool.
it my apartment. Other people call it our house. Each room's 900 square feet, basically.
That's
living
bigger than an
space.
apartment.
Yeah.
That's way bigger.
Our closet is 14 feet deep with double French doors on it
Wow.
and 27 feet wide.
That's the
And she's got
size of
everything to the
my
right, I got everything to the left.
That's the
You're
size-
making her jealous right now. She wants one too.
So it's like that's the size of my spare bedroom.
Right? Dang.
Our closet's bigger than our living room, and our old living room was 12 by 24, and our closet's 14 by 26.
Oh my God. So how many bedrooms do you actually have total? Like if you have, family come over?
Oh, I have rooms set up. Like people come, the investigators can come here,
Uh-huh.
and I got little rooms built like apartments
Oh, wow.
that they can rent for the whole night. They got their own private bath, shower,
Jeez.
bathroom. One of the rooms has 2 full-size beds, a futon, a couch.
Wow.
They got cable TV and Wi-Fi in them, fully furnished.
Jeez.
Yeah, we could house several.
I guess
And I'm working on another room right now.
I guess when we come up there, we're going to stay for 72 hours.
Yeah. Hey, it sounds funny, but I've had a group come here. They came for 2 nights,
Yeah.
and they stayed for 8.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
They had to leave 2 nights to go do investigations that they already had booked, but they came back as soon as the investigation was over, spent the rest of the night, and they investigated 24 hours a day here.
Wow.
The whole time they were. I got people that drive 17 hours. They come once a year.
Whew.
We have people from Canada, New England. They come from everywhere. It's just phenomenal.
And of course, it's been on TV too. I mean, you've had a couple networks come in there and do some episodes, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. He says, you do country music and stuff. I said, we need to do a weekend of country music, paranormal investigating.
There you go.
Have a big bonfire in the back. I got camping area for campers and tents, and turn it into a weekend of hoedown investigating.
Hoedown investigating. You just want me to bring my guitar, don't you?
The hoedown at Post Town.
Oh, that would be a great banner, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Hoedown, Post Town.
Oh, man. So let our viewers and listeners know exactly how they can get in contact with you so they can go ahead and book an investigation for their team so they can come on out and check out the Post Town Elementary.
Okay, I have a website. It's www.posttownschool.com, and Post Town is POASTTOWN. A lot of people forget the A, but I think it still pops up on the internet.
Some people spell it postal. I've seen that.
Yeah, right. And then we have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Post Town Elementary School, and then the Post Town group is Post Town Elementary School, Middletown, Ohio, on Facebook. My personal phone number is 513-464-1330, and that's on every page and website. You can get a hold of me anytime.
All right.
I work probably 18 to 20 hours a day in here, sleep about 4.
Oh, geez.
And you can pretty much get a hold of me anytime.
Wow, you got to get more sleep than that. Otherwise, the building really is going to consume you.
I can't. I sleep more than that. I feel like I got a hangover.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Whenever we go and investigate, we usually get maybe, 3, 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep. And then, like, the next day, we're just totally drained. For, like, 3 days, we're totally drained. I don't know what it is. It's just, wow. It's incredible.
We
had
a weekend event here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What is the most incredible evidence that has been ever shown to you or been personal experience or anything that you've had at Post Town?
Okay. Well, we have can I use the name of paranormal groups, or am I allowed to do that on here?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
We had a group, Barrett Paranormal, that was here, their local group, and they got an awesome picture of a little girl holding a baby doll upstairs in the door of 207.
Oh, wow.
We have Gatekeeper Paranormal from Bobby Mackey's. They do the walkthroughs at Bobby Mackey's.
Mm-hmm.
They do one of the best disembodied voices, and it's a man saying, "Oh my God!" and they were all women in the group.
Huh.
And then we have a red laser grid down in the cafeteria. Smart Paranormal was here, and it's amazing the distortion in the red laser. It's the one with the lines, not the dots.
Right.
It walks through, and then when it comes back through, It sets off the REM pod, and
Wow.
it's phenomenal. The strongest piece of evidence to me, publicly, that's what I mean by out in the building, not in my house.
Right.
The strongest piece to me is one day my wife and I were sitting here and we heard adult footsteps upstairs. And we're so used to hearing little kids walking, we don't even pay any attention to it.
Right.
But when you hear something different, it makes you perk up. And we heard these real heavy work boots walking across the living room ceiling. So I actually opened myself and ran upstairs and had her watching the cameras.
Right.
You know, so she could tell me if they went a different way or something. And she's watching the hallway for somebody to come out of a room. And I get up there and I'm going through the rooms trying to find who's up here. And there was nobody there. And as I came back down the hallway, I was on the phone to her asking her if she'd seen anybody. She said, there's been nobody in the hall. So they got to still be in there somewhere.
Right.
So as I'm walking down the hall, I hear like 3 steps behind me.
Ooh.
And just as I turned to see what it was, I heard about 4 more steps as it went through me. And it felt like if you take 2 real strong magnets and try to put them together,
Right.
that resistance, that's what it felt like as it went by me.
Huh.
And that's a feeling that I'll never forget. In the 13 years I've been here, it's the only time I ever felt that. I've had a lot of shadows or whatever you want to call them, like come right up on me to where you feel them, but nothing felt like this felt. This is the weirdest feeling I've ever felt in my life. I don't know if it went through me or went so close to me that it did that or what it was, but that's my most memorable experience.
Wow.
I've heard a little girl speaking in the dry goods room. There was 3 of us that night that went back down there. They were getting ready to leave, and the guy said he wanted to come down and check the dry goods room one more time. So we went back down. The door used to stick real bad, but if you knocked on it and asked her to let you in, it would pop right open.
Oh, wow.
And we went down, and he's knocking on the door, and you hear this little girl's voice says, "Mommy and Daddy said." And
wow.
me and the other guy looked at each other like, what the? And he knocks on the door again. He says, "Will you let me in?" And he goes, "Mommy and Daddy says," and it blah, 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 blah. You just started mumbling like, well, Nick, the guy who's with me, kind of shoved me out of the way and grabbed the door and jerked it open. I expected to find a baby doll in there that somebody brought as a trigger object, one of them talking dolls, but there was no dolls in there. We searched every room that was around that room, above that room. We couldn't go below it because we was in the basement. We couldn't find no reason for it, and we heard it like 6 different times. Even when we were in the room, it sounded like, once it sounded like it was down on the floor, and you're standing on a concrete slab, and the other time it sounded like it was up in the ceiling, which is a concrete ceiling. And I don't know what it was, but that was kind of freaky too.
Yeah. To go back to what you were stating about you actually can sense and see things where other people can't. I was kind of thinking about that. I would assume that the ones that you're actually seeing or hearing, they're more comfortable with you because you're there 24/7. But all these other people are completely strangers, total strangers to them. So they're not really going to be comfortable with them. Or maybe there will be some other entity that, you know, wants to make its presence known. But the ones that are following you and making all the noise, they're more comfortable with you because, you know, you're there 24/7. I believe that.
Right, but the ones that happen in my house aren't the ones that are getting out in the school. I mean, I know that don't make sense. Whenever you come here, you'll see what I'm talking about, the way the place is laid out. But it's like whatever's down here is different. You know?
Right. Well, that's what I was saying.
I've posted a few pictures on Facebook, not a whole lot, but twice I've been physically well, I don't know how to describe it. Once I had blood all over my forehead,
Oh, wow.
and my
geez.
forehead had 4 holes in it.
Oh, my God.
And I put pictures of it on Facebook and kind of made jokes like I fell out of bed, hit the carpet, you know.
Uh-huh.
But there's nothing there to hit my head on.
Right.
And when I woke up, I was in the middle of our bedroom floor on my hands and knees and blood running down my face. And about the same time, my wife woke up and said, "Oh, my God, what have you done?" And we looked all over the apartment. I took my head and put it in every place we can put it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I could hit my head on to do that.
But 4
And then
holes.
we had I know this sounds crazy, okay? But we had a lady come, a friend of mine brought her here to check my house out because I want to say this is twice that I feel like I've been personally attacked.
Right.
And she was picking up on some guy named Raymond was staying in her bedroom, and she says that he was from the train wreck and he was on his way on the train to go get married,
Oh.
and he never made it, and he's very upset, wanting to know where. Now, to me, and I shouldn't say this probably on the air, but the psychic end of this, people can tell you whatever they want because there's no way for me to try to debunk or prove or not prove anything that they tell you, you know, because
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't understand that part real well, you know. And we've had a couple come here and just absolutely try tricking us when they got caught at it. But after
Right.
this lady left, this is weird to tell. 15 minutes after she was gone, the scabs across my forehead from them 4 holes and everything
Uh-huh.
fell off on the table in front of me.
Oh, wow.
And there wasn't a scratch, a mark, a pink spot, nothing. I'm on blood thinners and stuff from my heart, and when I get cut, I bleed real bad.
Right.
And when it heals, I can't like take the scab off because I start bleeding like a brand new cut again.
Right.
So it always leaves this pink or white spot for weeks after a scratch, you know. And I have no evidence at all of anything ever happening to my head. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know what happened when she got rid of whatever was in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Everything it did left with it.
Huh.
It's out in the poolers. I don't know how to explain that.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what made the 4 holes.
Yeah, I don't know. There's pictures on my Facebook page. I don't know. It was weird.
So you've never felt uncomfortable there at all?
No. Well, even then I don't feel uncomfortable. I feel like when I first came here, they didn't want me here because I fell down every flight of stairs in this building. I think they was doing everything they could do to get rid of me.
Jeez.
Now that I know about this stuff. But now that we've been here, I think they see that we're here preserving the building, and I think they're doing everything they can do to keep me here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just learned to coincide with them, and I'll be here till the day I die. I have ghost hunting here. I have weddings here. I've had 3 funerals here. I'll do anything here. It's just whatever.
Whoa. You said you had funerals there?
Yeah. For
Great.
people that can't afford the
Yeah.
funeral homes, they have their families cremated. We had one here last Wednesday, and the group here Saturday night was getting crazy evidence out of the room that was in.
Yeah, I could you just had a funeral there.
Yeah. I never thought about the spirits staying or nothing, but it was crazy.
Oh my God. That's just nuts.
Yeah.
I never would have thought someone would have a funeral in a haunted location. Wow, that is just holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we are definitely going to try to fit you in sometime next year, because we've got a lot of places that we're going to. We're going to try to hit a bunch of prisons and jails and schools, and Poasttown Elementary is definitely on the list. We just got to figure out exactly when we can schedule it. So, I mean, since, you know...
I think you'll enjoy it. When you do come, you'll end up trying to schedule something else.
Uh-huh.
Just because you're going to be so intrigued by it. You can't do it all in one trip.
Been there,
I mean, like I said, there's 36,500 square feet, and there's 54 doorways, closets, classrooms, restrooms, and I think there's actually 27 actual classrooms. But it's phenomenal, the building. I love it here.
That's the reason why I was saying we'd probably do 72 hours. We'd come up Friday and not leave until Sunday morning.
Yeah.
There you go. My website even has pictures of the overnight room, and one of the beds has the adjustable head and foot, a full-size bed, and it vibrates and massages. It does everything to you.
Oh.
Okay, that would get me in trouble.
And you don't have to put a quarter in it. It's
Oh, gosh, she's over here saying that's going to get her in trouble. Wait a minute, what? Oh, my God.
Oh, that is awesome.
Bottom line, when it comes down to the end of the day, Poasttown is what it is. You will be overwhelmed with evidence. You'll get so much cooperation out of the spirits here. It almost seems unreal at times.
Right. Well, we can't wait
And I'm
to
not
get
just
there.
saying that because it's my place.
Right.
You can talk to just about anybody on the web pages will tell you the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it sounds incredible. We just can't wait to get there. And now she's going to start thinking about that bed that vibrates, aren't you?
No, I'm just cracking up the point of it's a haunted location with a vibrator.
In that room too.
It's a haunted location where they do... it's a haunted location where they do funeral and vibrating beds.
Yeah.
And they do get evidence in that room, so you could lay in that vibrating bed and do your ghost hunt.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, I'm just going to have to ask Christopher Maggart about that one.
Yeah.
Want to do a pre-honeymoon visit, honey?
Sure, why not?
There's some people that won't stay there.
Oh, my God.
What'd you say? No one will stay there?
No, I said there is people that says, I'm not staying in that room.
Oh, we're not afraid of anything. We'll stay anywhere. Oh, my goodness.
But
That's just crazy. Well, Darrell, I do appreciate you being on the show and telling all of our listeners and viewers, you know, the history of Poasttown Elementary. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that are probably going to go ahead and contact you for booking so they can get up there before we do. And they can tell us what they got. And we'll be sitting here going, okay, rub it in, shall you? So,
and keep your eyes out for the hoedown of Poasttown. It's going to happen.
Hoedown from Poasttown.
We'll have our country western weekend.
Oh my God! I will bring my guitar to that one.
Now we have it all. We're gonna have the grapes thing going on in Iowa, and then we're gonna have the hoedown thing in Ohio. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, most definitely. All right, Darrell. Well, you have yourself a good evening, and thank you for being on the show.
All right, thank you all for having me.
All right, not a problem. Have a good one.
Bye.
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 Uh-oh, he froze.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. The hoedown in Middletown. That's gonna be crazy. Oh my. So, well, anyway, you guys have heard tonight from two of our special guests. What happened? How can it be dead? It's plugged into a laptop. Oh my God. Facebook Live is really about to drive me up a wall. Do you see this cable right here? This cable is connected directly to it.
Well, it's killing
It's charging it.
It's not doing anything. It's dead.
Oh, well, here, give me the phone. Take it off of there and bring it over here. See, this is the reason why I've been, stressing. No, lift it up. There you go. And now pull forward. Now disconnect the cable. That's why I've been highly stressing to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that way you guys can actually still see what's going on. We're kind of doubling up. We got Facebook Live and we also have YouTube. So the thing is, if Facebook dies, YouTube is still going to keep kicking. That's why I go ahead and stress, please, subscribe to YouTube, so that way you guys can continue to hear and see the podcast. Because like right now, my phone is rebooting, so Facebook Live is totally frozen. And I don't know why. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show so far tonight. We had a very good special guests. You learned about the Post-Town Elementary School, which is really cool, and can't wait to get there, which is going to be kind of cool. As you heard, Darrell basically lives there, so he also has additional rooms there for investigators to come in and stay the night and, of course, investigate, which is really a cool thing. I know of other places that actually do that as well. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital is one of them. You can actually go ahead and go over there and stay the night and then investigate, which is really a cool thing. But like I told Darrell, we're going to go ahead and probably get a 72-hour stay there. We'll come in at Post-Town Elementary on a Friday and basically leave Sunday morning, so that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, and for you guys that are joining back in, sorry about that. Gavin's phone died, so we had lost the live feed, so we're going to try to pull one off. We're going to try to pull one off on my Facebook. We're going to have to do something a little different. This is the second show that we've had to lose failure on that.
Well, this is your part anyway, so run with it. I'm going to try to fix this phone here.
Okay, here it is. We had paranormal questions from the past 2 weeks. One is the pros and cons of the paranormal. What makes it is in a positive to be working in the paranormal? What is the negative about working in the paranormal? That was week 1's question. Week 2's question is what's fact and what's faked of the paranormal. If you guys would like to go ahead and answer in on those questions right now, you can. Just go ahead before I answer these questions or give you the next question for the week. Then I'll have 3 questions up, and if there's just an old question of the week that kind of pulls a heartstring and you want us to catch up back on maybe on another episode or whatever, that would be great. Let's see. The question for tonight is, and this is something that you can private messages about. You can post it. I will post the question online and for you guys to try to get answers for. This is an open-ended question. No rights, no wrongs. This is opinionated. And the question is, for this week is, what is some of the best evidence you put forth that a debunk still tries all they could to debunk? Is there a piece of evidence that's out there that you have gotten from an investigation and you try to put every force there is in it to try to debunk it, but yet it can't be debunked? We have one of those. We have one of those that has been questioned so many times.
Our running apparition?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had so many people try to debunk that, and they actually gave up.
Yeah, so do you have that, or do you have something that just people just easily tries to debunk, but they can't? There's many different things.
Alright, folks, what I'm about to do is I am going to send the link to Facebook so you guys can jump into YouTube and continue on while she gets questions hopefully answered by anybody. YouTube.
So I'm open for any answers. What piece of evidence? It could be an EVP. It could be a picture. It could be a feeling. It could be a personal experience. It could be something that just blowed your mind away, that when you walked away, you still remember it from 5 or 10 years from now. Something that just, makes you wonder.
Kind of like Post Town. Once you see, you leave, you believe.
True.
Hey, I'm a poet and don't know it. Sorry.
I mean, there's also that location that you can't debunk. So that's something you might want to look into too. I mean, you might have that location that you can't debunk, or you're just.
I haven't seen a location that you can't debunk. Can you name me one?
No, we haven't been to one yet.
That's what I'm thinking, because I've never seen anything like that before.
But we have taken stories and debunked them.
Oh yeah, we've taken a lot of stories of locations and just tore them up. There's a lot of places that we have been and places that we want to go, but when it comes to digging into finding out exactly what the history is of that location is, and then guess what? We find out other things which are pretty bad.
Yeah. Marlon had posted Shadow Man from Copper Canyon. Yeah, that's another location we have not made to yet.
Well, we were scheduled to go to Copper Canyon, but unfortunately there was a tragedy in Chad's life, so it kind of put a damper on things when we were unable to go.
Yeah. Well, he's talking about a Shadow Man from Copper Canyon up for a picture of the year with the Paranormal Awards show.
Really? Paranormal Awards show? I never heard of that. Is that there's such a thing? A paranormal award show?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. That's interesting. I never knew that.
Of course, Amanda, she's on. She just posted her personal experience. Remember the one where she told about the little old lady across the road?
Yeah, but I still question about that, though. I mean, we really can't see a house. I always thought it was a bunch of trees and stuff, but who really lives over there? Is there really a little old lady that lives over there, or who lives there?
Well, I just know that the history of her neighborhood is very, very old. So there's no telling what existed before the woods. Because it's one of those deals that, Marlon says it's New Hampshire. It's an award show in New Hampshire.
Really? Huh.
But anyway, they have...
Is there a website, Marlon? I'd love to look into this.
And, but the deal is that is a very, very old neighborhood, because not only 3 miles down the road from Amanda's house...
Right.
Guess what's 3 miles down the road from
a cemetery.
Yeah, the German cemetery.
Say what?
The German cemetery is 3 miles down the road from Amanda's house.
The German cemetery that we went to?
Yep, that's up on the hill.
Really?
Yep.
She's that close to that?
Yeah, she's close to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
German cemetery's creepy. That's for sure. That's where we got some weird stuff.
We had some very strange experiences there.
Woohoo!
And you're going to try to kill your microphone.
Almost did.
But yeah, there was that was an interesting. We went there twice in
Wow, 1%.
And it was interesting.
Yeah, especially when we had a police officer down below in the parking lot, and he was like, "Hey!"
Oh, get it right, get it right.
What?
We had neighbors that called the law on us because they thought we were grave robbers.
With millimeters and cameras.
Yeah.
That's a new thing to me.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. We had, of course, he said that they had cops showed up, and the cops are all yelling. He's yelling up the hill. We're up the hill. He's down the hill, and he's like, "What'd he say?"
Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, investigating.
Investigating what?
I too easy. Dead people.
And he's like, hold up. Y'all come down here. We're going to have a little talk.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
And of course, the long story short is we explained to him what we were doing, and we had received permission. He says, well, the neighbors had called and said there were grave robbers up here when you all were digging up bones and trying to rob jewelry and stuff off these graves, and these graves are about 200 years old. And he looked at our stuff and he goes, well, I don't think y'all have any shovels, and I don't think you have anything that would dig a ground up with. I don't know what that little box is for, but I'm going to have to see y'all's ID and driver's license, and I'm going to have to check y'all out. So he goes and checks us all out, and next thing you know, he comes back a few minutes later. He says, well, I just need y'all to just go home for the night and leave, and I'm not calling my supervisor or dispatch on this. When you all just go home and y'all have a wonderful rest of the evening, and I'll try to have a rest of the good evening for myself after this experience.
Yeah, I think he went home and had something to drink. He had a stiff drink after that one. That was just bizarre and crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But, of course, we had to go home. But the funny thing was, while we were talking to him, he saw a dead squirrel laying on the ground. And he goes, is this part of your ritual? No, that was there when we got here. That was funny, though. It was crazy. Oh, let's see. We got stopped for spotlighting
in
in
a cemetery with a 3-inch flashlight. Oh, that is awesome. At least we don't. Nobody else has any weird experiences like we do.
Wow. Oh, geez, that's just crazy. So, anybody else have a weird experience in a cemetery by getting stopped by the cops?
Or not just that, just a location.
Okay. Well, if you're getting stopped by the cop at a location, that means that you're there without permission.
True, but you can also be one of those where the owners gave you the keys and told you, here, investigate for the night. I mean, we've been to a couple of locations where the cops didn't stop us, but they did slow down and watch us very slowly.
That happened at Old South Pittsburgh, but the cop knew we were there. So he got out of the car and came out and introduced himself and stuff, remember?
Yeah.
And then he locked us in.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. It's like, okay, we're going to go do our lockdown now. Oh, I'm going to lock you in. Okie doke. And he did. He locked us in. So, but anyway, you guys are checking it out. See, we're wearing TNT Paranormal Investigator t-shirts. These were sent in from Melissa Tanner. This is her group. And like I've stated in all the other previous shows, that we are looking to give back to the teams and crews that are out there striving, trying to get the exact same thing that we are, trying to get that question answered. We're here to promote your team. So we will wear, your team shirts, your team hat, and we're helping get your name on out there. So last week we wore EVPs, which was Earthbound Voices Paranormal. And this week we're wearing TNT, Paranormal Investigators. So who's going to be for next week?
And also, if you have a story idea that you would like for us to try to cover, or have a little pro and con of situations that are going on in the paranormal world that maybe you want us to have a certain guest on here to help us with a little of understanding one night, that we encourage story ideas. So if you have a story idea that you would like to bring along or show along, or
show along,
well, not show along, but well, I mean, they could send us stuff that if they're wanting to say, hey, this is something that was a concern to me, and I'm gonna send you a copy of it and express it on your next show, or we could do a 5-minute segment on it or something.
Okay.
So it's just one of those deals that you never know.
That'd be weird.
Well, I mean, there is, some paranormal questioning out there that a lot of people don't fully example on some of their podcasts, and that's going to be something that we could possibly do on ours. Just do a 5-minute shout out on a situation that we need to possibly cover.
Huh. Okay. Well, that'd be something to try out and see how it works. I mean, I never really thought about that, but since you did bring it up, so yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that.
So anybody have any oh, Marlon said he's going to send us some shirts.
Sweet. We'll wear them. I'm about to go live on my laptop now. This is bizarre. We got a laptop over here with a camera on. We got a laptop over here with a camera on. We've got 3 cameras already on us with YouTube, so that way we get different angles. I think this is going to choke.
So before we finish out the show tonight, because we've got about 10 or 15 minutes left, what is one of your favorite locations? Because everybody's always asked us. That's a popular question that's always given to us. What is our favorite locations? So our question is going to be reversed back to you. What is your favorite locations and why? And for some of you that are not fully paranormal investigators that I see that has joined the club, what is your, wishful thinking of a possible going to a haunted location?
Oh, that was nice.
You just shut it down.
No, it shut down by itself.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did. Oh, well. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some more folks subscribing to YouTube, because you're missing out on a lot of really cool stuff. And this laptop is really slow. But, yeah, I mean, we're trying to figure out different ways. Usually my phone would last. I don't know what's going on.
See, mine's not been lasting a lot here lately either.
I mean, it was plugged in. It was charged. I don't know what the heck going on with it.
I finally gave up on trying to do live on mine for a long period of time. The maximum I usually do is about 15 minutes on mine. That's about as far as it gets.
Right.
Before it tries to kill itself.
But
I'm still trying. Hopefully next week I will do a Facebook Live of... I'm doing a little segment on the side on my days off.
Of what?
Of my hometown histories.
Oh, okay.
And I've already got first 3 locations lined up, and it's not one of those long drag out ones like for our podcast where it lasts 2 hours. It's just a little 15-20 minute segment about a location in my hometown that I feel is important to me and that some people do not know about. So
sound good to me.
And I'm hoping I can encourage other people with them doing their own hometown histories, because we're losing locations, we're losing buildings, we're losing the importance of our history.
True, and statues.
Well, and statues. And I'm going to cover about a couple of statues in some of my stuff, but not in the first 2. I've already got my first 2 plotted out.
The Tillman statue?
No.
Oh.
No, it's 2 locations that are in this town that needs to be covered because there is a possibility.
The one that we want?
Yes, one of them's one we want.
Well, I've been working on that.
And then I've got another one that's kind of important in the local area that I'm praying that will not get torn down.
Mm-hmm.
Where hopefully the rightful owners might step up to the plate and come and take responsibility of it.
Yeah, it would be nice.
And because we've already lost one, and it was over a stupid situation to where it stood empty for about 3 years. And next thing you know, the people next to it don't care about history, don't care about the advancement of saving something. We had one, this is what got me really started in thinking about doing hometown histories, is this was the first settlement house in this town, and in an overnight thing, they tore it down. And I mean, it's like the people got it on a Friday and it was gone by a Monday, and it's sad.
Which one was that? Which one is that you're talking about?
The settlement house that used to be down there by the gas tanks, like going to your job. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I was so mad for 3 days because that was one of the very first buildings that got built in this town. It was one of the very concrete buildings that were built in this town. And it was a very wealthy family that owned it. And it ended up being sold and turned into a halfway house later on in years. Actually, it was a school, I think, at one time. And then it was turned into a halfway house for many years. And then after it was shut down from being a halfway house because it needed some modernization and updates put on it, it sat there for 3 years, and the next thing you know, the Union Hall or whatever it is next door, stock claims on it, tore it down. Almost a 200-year-old building. Tore it down in one weekend. Flattened that surface down, was already pouring concrete by Monday afternoon to build their new building.
Oh, wow.
And that is sad. That is really, really, really sad.
Yes, it is. Very sad.
And so that's what got me into thinking about hometown histories. And we got to do this. It's not just my town. It's the towns all over. Stake your claim. Make it known to the public that this is an important part of history that does not need to be erased. I know that we're going through a battle nowadays dealing with the Confederate statues and all that, but it's not just dealing with a certain war or a certain part of history. It's talking about history in general. Because I don't want us to end up being one little paragraph in a 600-page book to set an example of what our town is or what that location is. We need it to be where we can carry on what we came from, what we built in society, what was established that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren in the future can still obtain and remember for the rest of their days. Because if we wipe away history, then what do we come from?
Good question.
I know my family's originally from Ireland, with a little bit of small doses of Indian in it, but majority of Ireland, Scotland.
That's true. I wouldn't mind to go to Ireland, though. I want to go to the castles.
Yeah, it's just getting me to go that far.
What? You flew on a plane to California. You can fly on a plane to Dublin, Ireland.
It's going over an ocean.
Okay, and your point?
It's going over an ocean.
Your point?
Going over an ocean.
Uh-huh.
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 And?
It's going over an ocean.
Okay.
I don't swim.
Okay. You do know that we flew out probably 40 miles into the Pacific to turn around.
Yeah, but we were close to land. We weren't.
We were 40 miles out. That was not close to land. We were in the middle of the freaking Pacific Ocean. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I showed you where Catalina Island was.
Which was a dot.
Pretty much. We were over water. So there. Oh my God. Crack me up. Hopefully we're going back to California next year. I hope. I don't know.
Yeah, he wants to hit the Winchester house.
Yes, we go back to California next year. We are hitting the Winchester Mansion. That's going to be a blast. I can't wait. So, but we're still trying to figure out what's going on. You need to keep talking. Come on.
I don't know what else to say.
Well, think about something.
I'm hot.
Okay. That's not really something to talk about.
Well, no, I'm not meaning the hot. I mean as in it's hot in here. It's like all the lights are on and I'm sweating.
Really? You're sweating on a softbox? Wow.
I work in a warm environment.
Okay. But these softboxes are softboxes. They don't give off any heat. Oh my God. Ah, I'm burning my hand.
You whine too much.
No, you're the one whining too much. So, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight. I'm looking at her, looking at the camera. It looks like her laptop is about to die. Also, it's not even keeping up in time.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's getting tired too, I guess.
My phone died, but hey, you know what? YouTube is still spinning like a champ. So, anyway, the YouTube link is on my Facebook page, and it's on Paula's page, so you guys can go ahead and jump on in there and watch that, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This is what you would actually see live if you subscribe to the channel. So, maybe something you guys want to look into to possibly do. I'm striving for at least 1,000 subscribers before we come out. So, I mean, as you know, the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown Season 1 is going to be released October 31st this year. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, and basically, originally what I had planned was each episode was going to go ahead and come out every Saturday following, but that's not going to happen. Since it is an original series, it is a season, they want me to release the entire season, lock, stock, and barrel on the 31st. So, with that in mind, you guys get to watch the episode St. Albans, the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the infamous Monroe House. So that's going to be part of Season 1. Season 2, which will be coming out in February of 2018 or possibly March of 2018, I'm not sure. But that one will have the Hartford Speakeasy, the Hartford City Jail, the Hinsdale House, the Randolph County Asylum, the Old Benton Jail, and of course the Weldon Manor. It's going to be in Season 2. And the beginning of February going into March, we will be kicking off filming for Season 3. I'm hoping that we stick around for like at least 6 seasons, because I'm sure we got lots of places that we can go to. I mean, right now we are currently booked from here until August.
I'm going to say, you look at your phone earlier today, it was July, because we had to decide on
Well, July I have 2 locations that we're going to.
Yeah, because we had a
Now, August.
We had a heated discussion on our wedding, and we had to figure out when we were going to be able to have it and be able to manage it in order to have it. So, month of June, yes, there is nothing going on in the month of June.
Yeah, June is out.
Yeah, there's no way possibly known to man to be able to do a TV show, investigations, and a wedding.
And in April...
Because somebody might end up having a funeral in the process.
Oh, wow. I wonder who that could be. Hey, you can have the funeral at Post-Town Elementary with the vibrating bed.
Oh, God. Amanda, you missed that. I don't know if you came in on that conversation or not, but we had an interesting conversation about Post-Town Elementary School being haunted, and they have a bed. They have a room with a vibrating bed in it.
A bread?
A bed.
Ah, vibrating bread. I've never seen vibrating bread. Hey, you said it, I didn't. So anyway, where can you guys see us? Well, let's see. October's coming up. October 21st, we are going to be in Ashburn, Georgia, doing a meet and greet from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Crime and Punishment Museum. So if you guys are in and about the area, come on by, stop by, take pictures. We're going to sign autographs, talk about where we've been, what we've done, probably a little Q&A. Then after that, we go ahead and shut down at 5, and we get ready for filming. And let's see, October 26th, we're going to be doing Ghostology 101 at the McCracken County Public Library, or the Paducah Library here in Paducah, Kentucky. That will take place from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. So it'll be up in the 2nd floor in the big room of the public library. So you guys are more than welcome to come to that. It's free admission. What you will learn is the tricks and trades, or tips and tricks and whatever. Things of to be a paranormal investigator. The do's and don'ts of paranormal investigating. You can tell I am tired. I'm slurring. No, I'm not drunk. I'm just tired. I am tired. I need a drink.
Stiff one?
Mountain Dew, huh?
A stiff one?
No, I need a Mountain Dew. I think I'm out of tea. But anyway, yeah. Ghostology at the library. We're going to have Q&A. We're going to have public access television there filming. Probably have a newspaper reporter there. A news channel is going to be there. So it's going to be a really big event. So we're giving back to the communities, and it's already been posted in numerous newspapers, magazines, brochures. So it's pretty much all over the Middle Tennessee area, Kentucky, Illinois. So it's getting spread around. So a lot of people will know about this event. And then, of course, after we get done doing Ghostology, we're going to pack up all the stuff into a trailer and take our butts down to New Orleans for the Haunted Bourbon. And ticket holders that mention our name or use the code, I think it's Haunted 20 or something like that, you get
VIP passes to
Yes.
see our movie. Or our show.
Our movie?
Our show.
the movie ain't gonna be out until 2019.
Yeah, we're jumping
Good
ahead.
Lord.
I've got too many projects on my plate.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Uh,
projects.
Yeah.
Actually, ticket holders that mention us and actually purchase a ticket and use our coupon code will actually receive a framed autographed picture to their name, and of course VIP seating to the premiere of the first episode of the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown before it hits Amazon.
Also, since we had talked about the movie, anybody that lives close to Western Kentucky area and would like to be an extra, we're working on possibly a church scene coming up late October and the 1st of November, filming a 10 to 15 minute church scene, and I'm needing some extras that can be some hallelujahs and some amen parishioners in the pews in the church house.
She looked drunk, don't she?
No, I'm just tired and full of it.
I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, on that note, we are going to go ahead and say good night. We will see you next week when we have 2 more special guests. I will be releasing on a poster who they are within the next couple days, so it may shock you who we are going to have, and I can't wait for them to be on the show. So everybody, you have a great night, and we will see you next week.
Ta-ta.